Hello, welcome back. This is your Prakash sir here, wishing you good morning, good afternoon, good evening. No, not good night, rather. Today I'll be discussing with you a new topic: social differences within and beyond the framework of caste. Book 1, Chapter 3, continuation of the topic, that is kinship, caste, and class. In my last topic, I have discussed with you about the Gotra rules and all. Yes, children, that Dharma Shastras and Dharma Sutra, about which we have been discussing since last few topics, that Dharma Shastras and Dharma Sutra contain one very important rules about the caste. We have been familiar with the term caste since very small classes only. Broadly, as per the Varna system, there are four different castes in the society, or the entire people or the population is divided into four different caste groups: Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudras. And according to the rule of Dharma Shastra and Dharma Sutra, this caste system was hierarchical. Hierarchical means it was, in a different position. Say, Brahmins were considered as the highest caste in the society. Their position is at the topmost level, followed by Kshatriya, then followed by Vaishya, and at the bottom there was Sudra. Okay, so the status of the people in the society in this caste system was hierarchical. Brahmins were given high respect in the society, and Sudras were considered as the people of low birth. Okay, now going through your topic only, going through the book in your topic only, there Brahmanas claimed that this order in which they were ranked first was divinely ordained. Means, they are not claiming their position. I mean, Brahmins were not claiming their positions on their own. They try to give justifications to their position, saying that their position is actually decided by the divinity only. It was the system which has been created by the God only. It was a divine origin. Okay, while placing groups classified as Sudras and untouchables at the very bottom of the social order, position within the order were supposedly determined by birth. It means, that society is classified into four different caste groups: Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and Sudras. Okay, Brahmins held a high position in the society, and so-called, Sudras, that is, Sudras and untouchables were given the lowest position and the place in the social realm, or that social construct. And this particular position is the hereditary system. I mean, it has to be followed hereditarily. Okay, I mean, the son of Brahmin will become Brahmin only, the son of Kshatriya will become Kshatriya, Vaishyas will become Vaishya, and Sudras will become Sudra. Okay, now, as I told you already, this caste rule also have decided the proper occupation of the people, and the occupation of the people was also decided by the caste in which they belongs to. It is said that Brahmins were born out of the head of the Brahma. Okay, then Kshatriyas from the soldiers, Vaishyas from the Thai, and Shudras were burned out of the lake. That is why, I mean, that was actually the divine ordained, that what they were talking about, what Brahmins were talking about, what Brahmins were claiming about. Because they burned, because the birth of the Brahmin is from the head of the Brahma, that is why they held the high position. Okay, and these particular rules, the rule of the caste only, decide the rule about the occupation. Okay, and that caste system only have already decided the right occupation of the people. Now, Brahmins, so-called the high, caste, so-called the people with the high position in the society, were expected to be learned one in the society. The main function or the main occupation was to study Veda. Okay, and not only to study Veda, to teach Veda also. Okay, and at the same time they were also expected to perform the rituals and different sacrifices and different ceremonies and all. Okay, so this was the main occupation of the Brahmins. Kshatriyas were expected to be the ruler. Okay, and all Kshatriyas cannot become ruler at the same time, but rest of the Kshatriyas, the one who is ruler, and apart from those, Kshatriyas were expected to be the warriors, warrior community, and they were expected to protect the empire, protect the land, protect the property of the people, and they were also expected to protect the women in the society. Okay, at the same time, Kshatriyas were also allowed to study Veda, and they were also allowed to perform sacrifices, and they will take the help of Brahmins to organize and perform sacrifices, religious sacrifices and all. Vaishyas, so-called third group in the society, are the in that caste rung, the people who are belonging to the third class, that is Vaishyas. They were expected to be the traders and the agriculturist people, or the farmers. Okay, and they were also they were also allowed to organize sacrifices and all, taking help of Brahmins and all. Okay, and they were normally the expected to be a rich people in the society, not that much rich also, as per the rules. The Kshatriyas, Brahmins were the one who were expected to be the rich in the society. Kshatriyas were also expected to be the rich in society. Then after, accordingly in economic wrong also, Vaishyas come, because most of them were farmers and traders. And finally the Sudras and the untouchables, they were expected to provide services, different type of services, especially the menial services and all, to the people belonging to the first three caste group. Okay, and they were not allowed to get the education and all. They were not allowed to study Vedas, and at the same time they were also not allowed to organize any type of religious ceremonies and all, religious sacrifices and all, because Brahmins, as per that rules of untouchability, Brahmins were not expected to go to the Sudra's house. And if Brahmins will not go to the Sudra's house, then who will perform their sacrifices and all? Okay, because it was the Brahmin who were only allowed to perform sacrifices for all other people in the society. Okay, so this was the classification of the occupation, okay, as per the caste rule. Okay, now as the caste rule says that Kshatriyas belongs to Kshatriyas were expected to be the rulers in the society, but there are many instances in Indian subcontinent where many of the rulers were, they did not belong to the Kshatriya group, okay, a Kshatriya caste. There are so many instances. Page number 62, topic number 3.2, non-Kshatriya king. Look at that. According to the Shastras, only Kshatriyas could be kings. However, several important ruling lineages probably had different origin. The social background of the Mauryas, who ruled over a large empire, had been hotly debated, while later Buddhist texts suggested that they were Kshatriyas. Brahmanical texts described them as kings of low origin. The Sungas and the Kandvas, the immediate successor of the Mauryas, were Brahmanas. In fact, political power was effectively open to anyone who could muster support and resources, and rarely depend on birth as a Kshatriya. So, the Brahmanical rules of that caste system says that only Kshatriyas can become the ruler. But the actual situation in the society, actual practices in the society says that no, it's not only the Kshatriya who can become the ruler. It says that the one, in fact, the political power was effectively open to anyone who could muster support and resources. It means the one who has the ability, to get the support from the people, who could get the muster the support, as well as who could control the resources, can become the rulers irrespective of their birth. It is not, they were not only expected to be the Kshatriyas. There are instances that I have already told you about this when I was discussing about the exceptions of the Brahmanical rules and all. At that time I told you about this exception. Okay, Mauryas. There are two different theories very famous about the origin of Maurya. One is Brahmanical theory, another one is Buddhist theory. The Buddhist theory also says that Mauryas belongs to the Kshatriya community only, Kshatriya caste group only. Whereas Brahmanical theory says that Maurya belongs to the so-called Maurya family, and that is expected to be the one of low birth. Okay, although this particular thing is a debatable thing, so it's a debatable topic. I'm not going to indulge in this type of debates and all here, but it's just some example for you. Secondly, the dynasty that immediately followed the Mauryas, or the dynasty which came in India after the Maurya, that were Sung and Kanva dynasty. This Sung and Kanva dynasty, the ruler of the Sung and Kanva dynasty belongs to the Brahmins. Okay, Brahmin caste category. So Brahmins were not expected to be the ruler, but the ruler of the Sung and Kanva dynasty were the Brahmins. Other rulers such as the Sakas, who came from Central Asia, were regarded as Mlechas, barbarians, or outsiders by the Brahmanas. However, one of the earliest inscriptions in Sanskrit described how Rudradhaman, the best known Saka ruler, revealed Sudarsana Lake. Now, Sakas were also, they were not also from the Kshatriya category. The Brahmanical rule says that Brahmins considered the Saka ruler as a barbarian, outsiders, or Mlecha. But one of the very famous ruler of this Saka dynasty, that is Rudradhaman, one of the inscriptions says that it was Rudradhaman who have revealed that famous Sudarsana Lake, which is very important activity. And the construction of the lakes, repairing of those lakes and water bodies and ponds and all are expected to be a very good work at that time. Okay, it was a work to be done by a very generous king, and yes, repairing of that Sudarsana Lake was one of the very important activity of the Rudradhaman. Okay, so this suggests that powerful Mlechas were familiar with Sanskritic traditions. It is also interesting that the best known ruler of the Satvahana dynasty, Gautami Putra Sri Shatakarani, claimed to be both a unique Brahmana and a destroyer of the pride of Kshatriya. Another example, the rulers, the best ruler, or one of the very important ruler, best known ruler of Satvahana dynasty, that is Gautami Putra Sri Shatakarani. He was Brahmin, and he was also called the destroyer of the pride of Kshatriya. Okay, He also claimed to have ensured that there was no intermarriage amongst members of the four Varnas. At the same time, he entered into a marriage alliance with the king of Rudradaman. Now, he did not only destroy the pride of Kshatriya, but he at the same time try to ensure that the Brahmanical rules of marrying outside the kin group need not to be followed. Okay, he said that he ensured that people should marry within the caste group only. Inter-caste marriage was forbidden or not allowed by Gautami Putta Sri Shatakarini. And at the same time, he have actually has broken his own rule by marrying somebody belonging to the family of Rudradaman. And the Brahmanical rule says, Brahmanical theory says that Rudradaman and their dynasty, or the people of their dynasty, belongs to the Mleccha category. So, as you can see from these examples, integration within the framework of the caste was often a complicated process. The Satvahanas claimed to be Brahmins, whereas according to the Brahmana's king ought to have been Kshatriya. They claimed to uphold the fourfold Varna order, but entered into marriage alliances with people who were supposed to be excluded from the system. And as we have seen, they practice endogamy instead of the exogamy or system recommended in the Brahmanical text. Now, the practices of this Satvahana dynasty is quite confusing. First, at the same, they themselves were the Brahmins. And the Brahmanical rule says that Brahmins cannot become the king. Kshatriyas are supposed to become the ruler. So they break the first rule here. Secondly, suppose, okay, they get the political power, fine, no problem. But the second rule, what is being prescribed by the Brahmins and the Brahmanical text, or the Brahmanical, or that Dharma Shastras and Dharma Sutra about the marriages and all. There shouldn't be endogamy. Endogamy should not be practiced. Marrying of a woman to the person belonging to the other, kin group is expected in the society. But these Satvahanas only, have broken this rule also. They indulged in the marriage, endogamy marriage. At the same time, there was the instances of the marrying of one case from the family of Rudradaman also. Okay, so this sort of the activities of this Satvahana dynasty cannot be understood quite easily. Okay, they are doing all sorts of activities which are not prescribed by the Brahmanical rules and all. Okay. Next topic in the wrong is Jatis and social mobility. About Jatis and social mobility, I'll be discussing with you in my next video. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon in my next video.